up. Marcus Ambrose is going to be on the inside of row number 3 to charge downhill.
That's the break they needed. They needed to get close back up and erase that gap. We never really got to measure it after they made their pit stop, but he's able to make up all the ground.
Saving fuel.
Yeah, and the one thing that'll be interesting to watch is Ambrose and Montoya going to start side by side.
Oh,
How
that'll be
much
good.
are they going to waste time with each other trying to get that spot?
Third caution out for a vicious crash involving Denny Hamlin in turn number 1. Fortunately, he's walked away okay after a brutal hit. Watch this.
Where winners are celebrated, champions are crowned, and legends are born. Home with the biggest events in motorsports, ESPN and ABC.
Back live, Watkins Glen International, and what has been a very difficult weekend for Denny Hamlin. This was in qualifying.
Out of turn 5. Lost track. That said, he had a very fast race car.
And just moments ago, a brutal hit in turn number 1. Denny climbing from the car. And going back and looking at some smaller details of this, watch the shape of the guardrail after the hit and watch where he hit and what's behind the guardrail.
Well, one of the posts there is going to be, you see the concrete is there holding that fence. He could have hit in between there and possibly softened that blow just a little bit, but I can assure you, folks, there is not a worse feeling as a driver when that throttle hangs and you have nowhere to go. Just glad to see Denny walk away.
Kind of what we think it looked like was...
Yes.
Yeah, the reason you say that is you see the front tires locked up, rear tires are still driving. And as hard as he would be pushing that pedal, as hard as you can push it, you can't hardly stop the rear wheels if you have power on them.
And we obviously will effort an interview with Denny Hamlin after he is released by the medical officials. Hamlin to the garage, joining TJ Bell, Kurt Busch, Scott Speed, Joe Nemechek, Michael McDowell, JJ Yaley, and Mike Skinner as cars out of the race. So here's the front of the field for the restart. Ambrose and Montoya in row number 3, with Busch and Keselowski side by side in row number 1. Turn 1 has tended to get wild on restarts in the late stages of races here in recent times. Let's see what happens with 21 laps to go.
Yeah, no reason to think this is going to be any different. Martin Truex trying to go off in a hurry. He's had a great car all day.
Kyle a little wide. Here's Truex to his inside entering the S's. He'll get the second.
Carrying that left front wheel through the S's.
Ambrose up to third on the break. Check that fourth. And looking for more. While we watch this action, Denny Hamlin has been released from the care center. Dave?
He walked under his own power. Alan, Denny, how are you feeling?
I feel better than I thought I would. I mean, it felt like it was in slow motion for me, but can't say enough for all the safety precautions NASCAR takes, and obviously the wall helped a lot. Getting that dampered the hit a little bit, but really encourage all these drivers to go 7-point safety belts. I had those, and it just it really softened the blow quite a bit. A lot of these guys run 5-point, and it's just not enough. So that's a testament to all the safety stuff we have.
We saw the rear wheels sprinting, the front wheels locked up. Do you think the throttle hung?
No, throttle didn't hang. Something blew out in the left front, and when it did, it must have cut a brake line, so I had no brakes, and so I was trying to do everything I could to weave or anything I could to get the speed out of the car, and just there's nothing you can do. Front tires locked up and can't steer, but it's a shame. Our FedEx ground Toyota was really good all day, and just we're going to be right there about 4th or 5th in line on this restart, but wasn't meant to be today.
He drove from 42nd to 12th, and his day ended with that, Alan. Glad he's okay.
Hamlin probably going to take a big hit in points here. Remember, he was the 11th place driver, first of the wild cards with his Michigan win. He's going to lose some ground to that 10th spot today in trying to make it into the chase just purely on championship points. Marcus Ambrose with a real sense of urgency here, that 4th place car. to find a way to pass these couple guys in front of him before Kyle Busch gets away, and maybe before the freshness off those tires hurt his chances to make some of those passes.
Marcus has got about 4 lap fresher tires than does Keselowski or any of the guys in front of him.
Yeah, I know he wants to get there quickly, but Truex and Keselowski both have extremely fast cars and doing a great job driving them here.
Yeah, nobody's made any mistakes to give him an opportunity to get an easy one.
Well, that caution was enabled Kyle Busch to save a little fuel, and now we see him actually run a little bit harder than we've seen all day.
Comes Keselowski for second now.
Wow, good move.
Can't say enough about Brad Keselowski. I mean, just manning up last week and this week, how difficult this is on his body, but getting the job done in a position knowing that he has to stay up inside this top 20 to utilize those 2 wins that he has for a wild card. He's trying for win number 3 to really get himself secure.
Outside?
Yeah,
I don't know
you
about
can
that.
make that, but what he's trying to do is get a run back to the other side where he can be wide open, his car going straight. Now he's going to be in position. It's kind of a setup move off of turn 7, and he perfected it right there. That's how you do it.
And Johnson under Tony Stewart, a little bit behind them.
It's another case where Johnson has 5 lap fresher tires than does Tony Stewart.
So with 18 laps to go, Ambrose through to 3rd position. He's got some ground to make up to catch Keselowski and Kyle Busch. We're at Watkins Glen, the famed road course in upstate New York. Our telecast presented by GoDaddy.com, and we're getting down to the final stages of this one. Later on today, NASCAR Now's Monday Roundtable will be over on ESPN2. Rusty Wallace, Tim Brewer, and Ricky Craven to wrap up today's race. That's at 6 Eastern Time. Nationwide Series up in Montreal next Saturday, 2 Eastern ESPN. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series with the Pure Michigan 400. That is Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN. Look forward to both of those races. Also next weekend, the American Le Mans Series from Road America on ABC Sunday at 4:30 Eastern. And the Lucas Oil and HRA Nationals presented by Lucas Oil at 10 Eastern next Sunday on ESPN2. Update on who's in contention to race for $3 million in the Sprint Summer Showdown presented by the HTC Evo 3D. Kyle Busch trying to join the group that includes Paul Menard and Brad Keselowski to go to Atlanta and race for a shot at $3 million. $1 million for the driver, $1 million for the driver's charity, and $1 million for a fan. Sprint.com/speed is where you can enter to be part of the excitement. Pick next week's winner and see how it all plays out at Atlanta on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, he'd be a serious contender for that since he is the, not that the other two aren't, but he has won at Atlanta.
Atlanta Motor Speedway. So while we were away in the break, change for second place. Marcos Ambrose by Brad Keselowski. He had to work really hard to get that spot, but he finally managed to do it. He got that one with 15 to go.
Been working him over pretty good. Came into the turn 1.
Got a nice run just like before off of turn 7. Just outbreaks. And he carries so much speed right here and able to keep his car under control. Not going really wide there and letting the car, whoever he's racing this time, Brad Keselowski, get back underneath him. So it's just a perfect pass once again.
But look at the gap between Kyle Busch and Marcos Ambrose.
Yeah, but it's closing.
Yeah, he's beating him around 4/10 a lap. Ambrose is to Kyle Busch right now.
A little farther back, Kevin Harvick. Haven't talked much about Harvick in this one. He's running in 8th right now.
Hey, just a good, solid day. They kind of started their strategy early, showed us how they were going to play things out, and it's worked its way into the top 10. Shannon?
And they are getting great fuel mileage, guys. They have made 3 stops so far. That was the plan. And Gil Martin saying right now they're good to go to the end, but a green-white checkered might get a little bit tricky for them. But good fuel mileage for that 29. And this was sort of the plan all day to kind of hang back. They qualified 23rd. Gil Martin knew that Kevin Harvick, very good at road course racing because he lets the race come to him, and he's always there at the end. Guys?
Kevin Harvick made his first pit stop on lap 6 of this race and has let the strategy play out from there. Right behind him, Joey Logano. That coaching from Max Pappas, giving Logano confidence on these road courses to combine with the momentum this 20 team has had for the last month and a half.
They really had some good runs. Had a great run last week at Pocono until they had a flat tire late in the running that didn't allow them to have a good finish there.
Now, on the other end of the strategy call today, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road at lap 27, just before the caution waved at lap 28. That put Jr. up into the top 5. Then he pitted under the green at 58, and again under the caution at 67, Dave, and Jr.'s now back in 22nd.
Alan, twice under the caution. The first was for fuel only. Then you came back, Steve, for 4 tires. Why was that?
Well, we took gas only, but the field didn't get caught up coming to the pit road opening. So we were going to pass 5 or 6 guys with gas only. And when we didn't, we decided just to come get tires. It's paying off. We're almost back to the 20th. Dale's doing a great job. We're kind of points racing at this point. I know that's not a good word to say, but we need to make the chase. We have a team that can make the chase. Come out of here with a top 20. We'll be happy.
The measure of success here, Alan, different for different teams.
I'd say their best hope is we get a green-white checker because there's, as Shannon was talking about the 29, there's a lot of other cars up there that don't have enough fuel for a green-white checker scenario, so that might be their best hope in trying to secure a lot of points. They've had a great day. It's just unfortunate they got put in this situation.
And Dale Jr. again right on that bubble in the race to the chase.
And now Marcus Ambrose starting to put some real pressure on Kyle Busch.
Got 11 laps to go. Can he catch him? Will that caution come out? Will we have a green-white checker? We're back to Watkins Glen for the finish. Our telecast presented by GoDaddy.com. Chevy brings you Drive It Like You Want It. Enter for a chance to win a new Chevy Silverado and a trip to Texas Motor Speedway. And meet Team Chevy drivers Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon. Visit DriveItLikeYouWantIt.com now. Riding with Jeff Gordon back in 13th position.
He's passed 8 cars since the restart.
The strategy and the way the race has played out for the 24, not keeping him at the front. At the front, from 2.5 seconds back, Marcos Ambrose now 2.5 car lengths back, if that, with 8 laps to go.
Plenty of time to get him. He'll get him here. Nice and smooth.
Marcus Ambrose told me on Friday that, of course, everybody comes here to win, but he looked me square in the eye and said he was going to win this race today. Well, yesterday's what he was planning on.
Yeah.
He was going to win whenever we ran. Just such a good driver on these. It's just amazing how much better he makes the cars that he's in. It's not that they don't have a good car there, but he's just so talented behind the wheel at these road courses.
Past finishes in Sprint Cup competition at Watkins Glen. 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd. The win has eluded him. He has won 3 times in the Nationwide Series races here on Saturdays. One of them last year, he passed Kyle Busch to get that win.
A pretty spectacular pass up into the inner loop. I think at that time it kind of surprised Kyle Busch.
That gap by running about 0.2 to 0.3 a lap faster than Kyle.
I see this kind of situation and I try to picture what Kyle Busch must be thinking in that 18 car in his mirror. He's seen that yellow car grow larger and larger and larger, and he knows he's there.
You know that, and you know as a driver, there's only a couple of places that he can really make a good attempt at a pass without taking a real chance. So that's where you really guard your position.
Vince?
With crew chief Dave Rogers. Dave, as Kyle tries to hold him off, how's the car handling? Is he having any brake issues?
It's real hard to hear you, Vince, but no, the 9 car is a really fast car. They did this on 3 stops, and they're beating our back bumper off right now. They're pretty fast, but Kyle's a man too, so we'll see if we can hold him off.
You have enough fuel for a green-white checkered?
Oh, that's gonna be close. I'm worried about the 9 car right now.
Dave?
With a very nervous Todd Parrott, we're keeping one eye on the big screen as we watch here. Do you have enough fuel, car, and talent to